Krabbe disease, an autosomal recessive disease. Krabbe disease, also known as globoid cell leukodystrophy, is a rare and usually fatal disorder of the nervous system. While the majority of patients develop symptoms during the first 6 months of life, some individuals can develop symptoms later in life. Unfortunately, to date, there is no cure for Krabbe disease, and most infants pass away before the age of 2. Krabbe disease is an autosomal recessive genetic condition that affects the GALC gene, also called GALC or GALC, which results in an enzyme deficiency of galactocerebrosidase. The GALC gene is located on chromosome 14. Galactocerebrosidase is needed to make myelin. Myelin is an essential material your body uses to surround and protect nerve fibers. Without this protective coating, nerves in the brain and other parts of the body will not work properly. In order to understand how Krabbe disease is passed down through families, it's important to discuss the autosomal recessive inheritance pattern of this disorder. The human body is made up of billions of cells, but surprisingly, only approximately 20,500 genes. Each person inherits 2 copies of each gene, one passed down from their mother and one passed down from their father. This makes each of us unique, even though we're still carrying traits from our parents. A single gene can account for why your brother has blonde hair and you have red hair. So when cells are created, variations can happen. A variant is any change in the DNA sequence away from what is considered normal or typical. A change that does not have medical consequences is described as benign, while disease-causing variants are called pathogenic. So how does all of this relate to Krabbe disease? As mentioned, Krabbe disease is inherited in an autosomal recessive manner. What this means is both parents must be carriers for Krabbe disease for there to be a chance of having a child with Krabbe disease. A carrier is a person who has one working copy of the gene and one non-working copy of the gene. So carriers typically do not show symptoms of the disease or have medical problems associated with being a carrier. As an example, let's say our couple Joe and Mary are expecting their first child. We'll call him Wyatt. Both parents are carriers of Krabbe disease. So what are the chances that Wyatt will be born with Krabbe disease? As a reminder, as carriers, both mom and dad have one working copy of the GALC gene, represented here by a capital K, and one non-working disease-causing gene, represented here with a lowercase k. Therefore, Wyatt could receive one working copy from his carrier mom and one working copy from his carrier dad. In this case, Wyatt would not have Krabbe disease or be a carrier. Another possibility is that Wyatt could receive one working copy of the GALC gene from his mom and one non-working copy of the gene from his dad, or vice versa. In this case, Wyatt would not have Krabbe disease. He would actually be considered a healthy carrier like his parents. Alternatively, in the last scenario, Wyatt could receive 2 non-working copies of the gene, one from each carrier parent, represented as 2 lowercase k's, and would be born with Krabbe disease. It's important to understand that these chances or risks start over with each and every pregnancy. Therefore, one result is not indicative of a future pregnancy. Let's review. The inheritance pattern for Krabbe disease results in an incident rate of 1 in 4. This means that a child born to a couple who both carry the Krabbe gene, the expected outcome for each pregnancy is a 25% chance that the child is born with 2 normal genes, as seen in box 1. Child would be normal and not a carrier. A 50% chance that the child is born with 1 normal gene and 1 abnormal gene, as seen in box 2 and 3. The child would be a carrier without disease. A 25% chance that the child is born with 2 abnormal genes, as seen in box 4. The child would have Krabbe disease. To learn more about Krabbe disease, including research, available treatments, and more, visit krabbeconnect.org.